So I'm trying to keep this casual. I'm just recording a little voice memo to myself about the first sketch that I made at the Gracia residency here in Antigua, Guatemala. It is called Your Happiness is a Power. And it's not a completed piece. It's really just an imagining, maybe for something larger, maybe for a video, maybe for a performance. I'm not even sure. It could be a book, the beginning of a book. Your happiness is a power. It's just an affirmation that came to me recently as I've been trying to prioritize my own happiness and see that as something that I can really build, something that I can be intentional about. As for the figuration in the piece, in the short time, really just the 2 days that I've been here in Guatemala, I've really appreciated women's labor and how visible it is. I've seen a lot of cooking, a lot of cleaning done in public spaces. And yes, it's often Indigenous women who are doing these tasks and making tortillas, making soups, just out in the street or close to it. So I have been taking so many photos, just in general as a sightseer. But one thing I have been paying close attention to culturally is women's labor. And I had a reference photo for this watercolor, obviously diverted from it a lot. This is not photorealism, it is an abstraction. But I did notice a woman doing something with a big pot, and she had so many vegetables in the foreground, so many things that she was cooking with, and I imagine selling as well. I did not inquire, I just snapped my secret little shot. There's also Sculpey in this piece. I did, like a brave person with the TSA, bring an entire box of Sculpey on this trip. And I really didn't know what I was going to do with it. I did know that I'd be inspired by all of the clay works in the area. There's so much ceramic. It's a huge tradition in Mayan culture, and it's very visible today. But I also knew that being here a week and then having to transport work back home to New York, that doing earthenware, firing in a kiln was not really going to be a possibility. So Sculpey was a nice compromise. And I actually incorporated a little bit into this watercolor. There are also the Mayan-inspired symbols, the numbers. I was looking at a book called How to Count in Mayan, and it had different figureheads in it, Mayan-shaped heads. And I put one of those heads over the cooking woman in my piece because the Indigenous presence is always there. It's very visible, it's alive. These people, my ancestors, are living, breathing people. And I just want to pay homage to that and honor them. And this is one of the pieces, the first, the very first that I've made during this residency that attempts to do that in some way.